It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso on S3, and we are back on the couch with another trending story. Now, yesterday, it was announced that Miss SA Top 12 finalist Laverne Jose dropped out of the Miss SA competition because of bullying allegations from her childhood. Now, should she be cancelled? That's the question people are asking on social media. Did she do the right thing by bowing out? Well, we had brought a panel in to help us unpack this. Shiraz Reddy and Carissa Cupido, they are here to join us and obviously share their opinions with us.
Yeah, good morning once again, Shiraz. Thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. I love being here on a midweek.
Yeah.
Liquor.
For some skinner.
Exactly
But this is
that.
something really important, I think, right now, because there's a bigger topic coming out of this.
Absolutely.
A bigger conversation. Firstly, I just want to understand the situation correctly. Was she asked to leave the pageant, or did she decide on her own accord that she's going to bow out of this?
So it was a consultation process
Okay.
with anything that is so public. And I mean, the Miss SA organization, it's massive, it's global.
Yeah.
And I think the only way one can do it is through a deliberation. You know, you have to mitigate all the factors and you have to figure it out whether it is best for you as a pageant contestant and as a business and organization that's globally recognized. And that is exactly what it was. It was a discussion. They've obviously consulted her and her family. But also it has to stem from a bit of, you need to have proof that this is what's happened.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, she bullied me once, but she accidentally elbowed me in the, you know, in the corridor.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a conversation that was had, and she decided, you know, it would be best.
Okay.
This is not the first time we've had stories like this where finalists in beauty pageants have had to step away or bow out.
Yeah.
Do you think she made the right decision to bow out so early in the competition? Because it was not that long ago that they announced the top 12. So it's not like the finalists have had all that time yet to prepare for the show.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, no, for me, honestly, I think that it was a good decision. I think that rather now than later on, because the bigger picture thinking is that it's going to backfire, you know? What if she made it to the top 5? And then it takes away the beauty and that regalness that is Miss South Africa, which is a sad case, but yeah.
And I think in stepping down right now, it almost looks noble of her to have done that. And I know people did call her out to get us to this point, but she's almost taken accountability for her actions in some sort of way. Whereas at the end of it, if it was the top 2, it kind of would feel reactionary.
Yeah.
And right now, I think this was the best decision for all of them. I mean, we also saw an example in 2020 with Bianca Shimbi, how her tweets were resurfaced from when she was 14 years old, and she also had to step down. So it kind of is a process that is followed by Miss South Africa and by the contestants, and I think this was definitely the best move for her to do at this point.
So maybe I can throw a curveball here, because I'm always one about believing in change, believing in growth as a person and as an individual. Is it fair that we are, after 10, 20 years, judged on something so far back when we've potentially made amends, or we are no longer... we no longer identify as that? Let's use this example. Maybe she's not a bully anymore. Maybe she did do that in the past. We all have experienced or have been a part of that. Is it fair for her to now have to deal with that? Could she not have used this as an opportunity for...
It's a good question.
You know what I mean?
And I think that, no, I think we must learn to live and move on, forgive, and maybe not forget, but forgive in a sense and look at the person's purity and where they are at the moment, you know what I mean? And celebrate that, because they've overcome, they've moved forward, you know?
Yeah.
But be sorry about it, because bullying is not a soft topic.
And it's not okay anyway.
But I love how you said it's noble of her to have stepped down now and take ownership of it, learn from it, and enter again next year, but acknowledge, you know what, this was my past. This is actually, and make it part of your cause.
Yes.
To encourage younger girls that, you know, follow these pageants religiously. I was one of them. And I have, to this day, my favorite Miss South Africas. And you see a lot of contestants entering multiple times before they win. It's not always the first entrant that takes the crown. But yeah, it's going to definitely be, she needs to make it part of her journey.
Exactly, I think that's what I was saying. It's the bigger picture. You know, you may not be able to walk that ramp this year, but use the next year to take this message and use it, you know, for good. And help those girls that are currently being bullied by other girls at high school or whatever it may be.
I think it is tough for the girls that are victims in the situation to see in this present time somebody that as recently, you could say, as 5 years ago, perhaps, they were in a position where they weren't the most comfortable, you know? But I do think that she does, like you said, need to make this part of her public messaging going forward. Because how do you tell that somebody has changed? She might have changed in her heart, but according to the public, we don't really know what she's about. So how do you kind of hold her accountable in that sort of way? And I guess that is what cancel culture, I would hope, is about. It's about holding people accountable. So we just kind of need to see a change, not just hear about it.
If you're going to call someone out, and sorry to break your word, but it's your right to call someone out, but it's also your responsibility to give them a moment to explain themselves. And I think that is exactly the lesson that we're learning with this particular instance, is that she is taking the responsibility to be like, I'm going to step away. And I really hope she uses the moment to fix it and pave a new path that is positive for the girls wanting to do it in the future and want to engage with her.
Love that. Well, we could see it as a mess up, or we could see it as an opportunity for more growth. I think this is what the conversation is really about. We're talking about people that should be held accountable and shouldn't. You can decide, and maybe you can weigh in on this and let us know what you think of this conversation right now. But thank you to our panel once again, Shiraz. Thank you for joining us on this one. A great conversation, and one that I think we should carry on. So let us know your thoughts on this before we head into the kitchen right now.